Welcome in, everybody. It's another episode of the DNVR Rapids podcast. And unfortunately, it is a loser's lounge. First time in a month. I'm your host, Mitchell Carroll, joined, of course, by Cowboy Super Yaya.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I actually don't feel as bad as I thought I would at the end of this one.
Not really at all, honestly.
Yeah. And it might just be because of the opponent, but it doesn't feel that bad.
And honestly, the flow of the game, it doesn't feel that bad. Let's get to the details quick. Rapids lose 3-0 at LAFC. It's a tough one. You get the Bogusz hat trick. You get the Cabral red card. First red card of the year for the Rapids. I thought, that's kind of nice.
20 games in, a little bit over it. Yeah,
you know,
21 games.
And, you know, it just – Rapids had their chances. I don't know if they reached double-digit corners, but if you add in those set pieces there, they had at least, you know, the free kicks near the goal. They had at least 10 chances, right? You know, like shots into or balls into the box, and none of them found the back of the net. Couldn't really maintain possession, and this is what happens against a good team when you go down to 10.
And not even before that, man. It just felt like looking at this game when it kind of started, it felt like the Rapids were very energetic, very ready to get going. They were trying to throw the first punch because they know it was Mike Tyson. Like they were fighting the big dog. And then after that, it felt like the lights got a little too big for them, right? They got all the hype all week has been this game. It's been emphasized. We talked to Weeby said, yeah, this is going to be the game of the week for the MLS, basically. Two good teams going at it. And it felt like the Rapids just kind of wilted a little bit under the lights. And it might just be because it's a young team and they really haven't played in big moments yet. This is the first one they've really got in as a serious contender, as a serious team, not just a team that could be fun.
Yeah, and I mean, this was the week you saw, you know, not just us, as usual, talking about the team, not your usual suspects with Burgundy Wave and holding the high line, right? It was MLS. They put out social graphics and articles and stats, and they hyped up this matchup, and as they should, right? This is two high-flying teams, goal-scoring teams, right? This, you know, Rapids are probably on a slightly lower level, but they did lead the league in XG going into this game. And it's, you know, this is a tough place to win, and especially for the Rapids. 3 of their losses there have featured hat tricks by the opposing team. That's tough.
I also think like no team has beat LAFC at home yet, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a fortress right now. Like it's really hard to go in there and try to get a victory. So it is understandable. And again, it's a younger team. The Rapids did have the upper hand last game that they played against them. They kind of got them off guard a little bit, but again, at the end of the day, it doesn't feel as bad because, like you said, the process wasn't horrible. I feel like if they had Bombi tonight, and it's nothing against Lawless, it's more like just that recovery speed would have been super helpful, especially with those super speedy wings. Like that's the biggest reason the Rapids lost. Keegan and Sammy couldn't keep up with them. They were getting burned left and right. That line was being held up so high that balls are just getting right by them.
Recovery speed and being able to play out of the back, right? Lawless and Maxu from the jump weren't making comfortable passes, you know, to each other or forward or back. It was just every single one of those is just you hold your breath like a little bit until it reaches the foot of another Rapid, right? You're like a little bit nervous.
As they were trying to get out of Sammy and Keegan as quickly as they could. And even then, man, LAFC did such a good job of pressing in unison and really cornering when the ball got out to those wing backs. They did a great job of just cornering them and kind of isolating them, where all Keegan really could do was like either change where the side of play or try to just boot it as forward as they could. And that's kind of where the gameplay really didn't fit the Rapids. That's why Djorjde wasn't very precise tonight either. But when he did have the ball, which was kind of rare tonight too, because of that press, because they were trying to keep the ball away from him and Cole so much that when they did get the ball, it felt like they were a little off. They were just not in rhythm, and they were not communicating like they usually do.
Well, the counter press, all of a sudden you have, Djorjde and Rafa back almost with the back line, right? Like
Exactly.
just playing out of position. And I think they found a couple counters in there that you're happy with. Vines, I thought, really found some offensive flow tonight. Able to, if the play started left, got back to the middle, and he would work himself into space, and all of a sudden he has room to push up the play, find a wing, hope a running mate comes in to either send a corner in or cut back in. And, it just, they had 8 corners in the first half. Like, they're the best set piece team in the league in terms of goals scored. You didn't get these ones, and that sucks, right? But they had their shots. I don't know. It felt, you're right, the process. That's the word I think we need to take away from this one is process it. I want them taking 8 corners and a half. You're probably going to score on 1 or 2, right? And that's also, again, where you miss Bombi.
Exactly. And that's like that height, that ability to jump, that athleticism comes very handy in set pieces. And Lawless has some of that, but the height does miss. Lawless is a little bit more of a wild card, and I love Lawless. I think he's a player that should stick around as a Rapid for a long time. He's a great backup center back.
Oh, yeah.
He's a guy that's done so much for the community, so much for the kids here that I think he should stick around. And it's very hard. I can see him like in a Drew Moore role 10 years down the road or something like that. But it just, Bombi tonight was the first time in about a month that we actually miss him, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those times that you saw the huge difference between Lawless and Bombi, and what actually is what makes look against the good team, what that kind of player does for the team. And it's kind of good that you see that against LAFC, because if you see that against AJ Hafley and our abs guy, it's just saying, damn, Mitch, with the little heat emoji. Because if you don't know,
thanks, brother.
Mitch right now is showing off the guns.
They're not guns.
He did show me his license to carry conceal, so it's fine. Like
I'm just rocking our friends with illegal beats, brother.
He's peating it up.
Where were we?
Bombi. That it's good to see. Nice. It's good to see the kind of it's good because you could be sold that Lawless could be the piece going forward. If Bombi does end up leaving the Rapids, which right now hopefully not. Like they kind of need him for the year, but it's kind of good to see what it would look like against the top tier contender in LAFC, and it kind of gives you a little bit of okay, take a step back. What do we actually need if Bombi goes? And the summer winter's coming up, so maybe you go look for a couple of guys that can help you out there. You would reinforce the backline some more with more experienced players, and that could be the way the Rapids go in a month or two.
Young striker, veteran center back, right? Like someone else to just
and another midfielder.
Yeah, and another midfielder. Yeah. You hope Kamani Stewart-Baines gets healthy. There's some, he's been off the injury sheet for a few weeks, hasn't made it back on, or off the injury report, off the team sheet for about 3 weeks. But yeah, you got some open U22 slots. Wanderers just jumped in and said they should spend again. You almost think you at this point with Canada moving on to the knockouts, you hope they win, and Bombi gets some goals and some big plays in those moments. And all of a sudden that $4 million offer is an $8 or $10 million offer. Take that, pay off the Rafa purchase immediately, and just kind of fill in, right? Like they're not far away. But you notice off the bench, right? When those subs happen, you're confident in Omir, you're confident in Ollie. Then you're confident in...
Yeah, that's where you're kind of like...
You're confident in...
You don't have anybody really else there that can help you out. You were confident in Lawless if he came in at the end of the game, right? You're like, he's not going to make a huge mistake right now. That gave you a little bit of confidence. But, like, if Bombi is fully gone, like, you got to replenish that role somehow. You need that recovery speed because Ronan doesn't have it. Ollie doesn't have it. Cole doesn't have it. And having a guy like Bombi that can help you out against elite contenders. You saw it against Miami. Miami is one of those teams that's very, very good, very fast. And Bombi made a huge difference. And that's where you need that kind of player.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And, that kind of player. There's not many players like him, right? Like,
there is, but
not replacing like, you're not replacing like for like. You're not getting a Tyreek Hill speed center back that's 6'3" and can jump through the roof, right? Like, you just hope you find someone solid enough to keep the boat moving forward, right? To not disrupt it.
I also like hear what Mavilian says, that he'd like to see Lofton play more, and I think that's actually pretty cool. I think that's actually a really good idea. Not really cool. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a minute. But I think that's a good idea. I think I would like to see a Lofton and a Ronan pairing back there. A guy that's a little bit more possessive with the ball, can keep it around, doesn't just make the arrogant pass. I think somebody like that with Ronan would help him all a lot, because it's not two guys distributing. It just lets Ronan open up his room a lot more, and it lets Lofton come in and do that defensive end of it. Helps Ronan just focus a little more on what he actually is good at.
Yeah, I mean, just, this midfield rotation right now, besides Loffelson, there's just not a mentality to run to cover back, right? The mentality is to get forward, to push the line, to break lines, to get the attack running, and you just need someone else with the mind to cover, right? And I don't think that's necessarily been a problem in a lot of games, but this is one where, you need something like that, right? Loffelson, he's probably not your classic 6, kind of run through people, but he does have a nose for the ball. He gets to the ball. He puts pressure on the ball. He doesn't get turned around too much.
He's a pest. That's what he is.
He's a pest, yeah, but he's not like a classic run him down kind of guy.
Exactly. He's not a defensive 6, but he is a pest. What I like about him is that he is a retainer. When he has the ball, he doesn't make that extra pass that maybe across. He tries to keep possession, which I think is where this team really dominates at times. And I think when this team feels really comfortable, and you've seen it the last week when they got 3 wins in a row, they were the most comfortable with the ball at their feet because they could control pace of game. They could do whatever they wanted. That's what they kind of need, somebody that's willing to retain the ball. To that, you saw Djorjde, you saw Ronan, and you saw Cole trying to make a lot of passes that are creative and might have worked against the St. Louis. But when you reach that higher level and the guys are just a little bit quicker, the guys just know where to be a little bit faster, that's when things kind of get messed up, and that's where you really can do that. And I think you need a guy that just keeps the ball and it's not just trying to go forward 24/7. You need somebody that can also calm things down.
Especially because, if Vines can settle in even a little more, I thought there was progress towards that tonight. It's kind of like a weekly incremental progress one way or the other, right? Like it's not these big spikes. It's like, okay, you got a little bit better this week, a little down, a little up. And I thought he found some stuff tonight. And if that's going to be the case, if he's able to push that left flank, get some 1-2s, whether it's Cabral or Cole or Rafa, right near that corner of the box, you need a guy to get back, right? You need a guy who's comfortable being the third center back, right? Like,
exactly.
And, it's just, yeah, I guess Juanes is right. I think he found some stuff, but overall the game wasn't great for him, for Sam.
Again, I thought it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. I just think those guys are so good, and that line was playing so high. I think just the whole defense of the back four as a whole was just mistake ridden tonight. I think playing out of the back, how you said, going trying to keep up with Bogusz and Bouanga is like a difficult task for any wing backs in the league, especially 2 guys out there that are tired and they're trying to push forward as well, and they have a lot of offensive duties. It was kind of about to happen, and we were trying to be I was trying to be optimistic with a 2-2 draw. I think you said 2-1 loss, right?
I said 3-2 loss. 3-2, I thought it was going to be a banger of a game, and if a couple of those,
honestly,
a couple of those set pieces bounce the right way, maybe, right? Man, I didn't, especially once I saw MLS finally as an organization and a social account and a news website talking about the Rapids. I knew
recognize the Rapids,
right? Like this week, you had to do it this week against LAFC. You couldn't do it,
against St. Louis
next week against Red Bull or in 2 weeks against Red Bull or, like, come on, why you got to set us up like that, dog? Not cool.
Yeah. Again, it just felt like the lights got a little big for them. It felt like they were trying to throw that big first haymaker, and when they were doing that, they got
They were close. Lost. They were close.
They were. I mean, I think the first 30 seconds we talked about it in our little chat that I think the Rapids got the bat and the whistle tonight, and it sucks so much because that's not the reason why your team is losing, and that's not the reason they suck. It's not the reason they lost. but you still hate to see it. It's probably one of the worst feelings in all sports, where your team is already so shit and it just feels like the ref is against you too, and you're just like, yeah, this is just not gonna work at all tonight. Like, pack it up, boys, let's get out of here. Because they really, like, what was it, the first 30 seconds, the Rapids were surging immediately, trying to get the ball forward. Cabral comes into the left, and he gets tackled basically to the ground without the ball. They don't call it, the ref gets up, and then immediately 30 seconds the other way, same exact play, and they call it for LAFC. And I'm like, okay, so it's gonna be that kind of night tonight where it's we're gonna give and take here and there, and it's fine. It is what it is. We know it's LAFC. It's one of those annoying things when you watch a game like that.
Even with the yellows tonight, going into tonight, to answer a question in the Toyota chat there, they were tied for the second fewest yellow cards going into tonight. This was their first red of the season. So even with 4 yellows, was it 3 or 4 yellows tonight? They're still probably second or third fewest in the league. Like, they've been very sound. I think things get a little reckless and Lawless gets into it. God, just shut up. Just stop. They were barking at each other for, like, when they had those 5 straight corners, right? It was just stop yapping at him. Put him somewhere else. Like, just go somewhere else in the set piece. Shut up. But look, and maybe just, until we get into our second segment here, we could kind of end on this. You get 4 or 5 at home, right? Like, I'm going to have the schedule up here somewhere. Here we go. So you get SKC at home. Need 3 there. They're not very good.
They look good today.
Sure. Yeah.
I watched that game for sure against Austin. They actually looked better than I expected.
Sure. Yeah. And I think, they're a little healthier. And you get St. Louis at home on Sunday. Sunday game. Weird. Sunday night game.
Sunday night game. Sunday night football.
Yeah, let's go Sunday night footy. And then on Saturday, on a just a shorter week than normal, you get Red Bulls at home. 3 straight at home.
You really need all 3.
You definitely need 6 minimum for sure. And then you go to Galaxy, home for the RMC final, and then it's Leagues Cup. So this is a stretch where it's time to put up, right? Like, you didn't get this one, but clearly the underlying stats, the work rate of this team, the resolve of this team, they've shown that they don't tend to not get too stuck in ruts, minus going into that international break. This year, they've been able to respond after losses. They've been able to show up when needed. This is an important stretch. This is a really, really important stretch.
Yeah, it really is, man. The minimum they can get is 5. The minimum they can get is 4, right? You need 4 to 6. Somebody said in the chat, I think it was a billion. Yeah. You need them. They're at home. You need to make 6 into a fortress again. You've been too lackluster at home. You need to make that into a real place where people are scared to go to. You need to find that rhythm again.
More important than that, 3 straight home games, then a big test on the road at Galaxy before a big test at home to win the Rocky Mountain Cup, right? Those 3 games, that's, whatever, if you don't get points at Galaxy's really good. Like, that's fine.
I mean, they're tied for first.
Yeah. As long as it's competitive, great, right? But set yourself up. Find a form. Don't let this interrupt the form you were just on, right? Let's not forget, they just won 3 straight and looked really good in those 3 games. Not against the best teams in the league. No one's going to call Austin a world beater, right? No one's going to call St. Louis a world beater.
But they did the job.
But you did your job and you looked good. So, you get, this is a tough stretch, but it's not impossible. It's not daunting like it would be in the past. There's a confidence that I think we should have and fans should have and the team should have going into this stretch, right? Like, they're not going to let this loss ruin them. That's the one thing we know for sure just from being around this team for this year.
Also, man, even with this loss, the Rapids are still in 4th place. They have 21 games. Like, they have a game over like 2 or 3 teams and that are in playoff position right now. So it's like they're right there. Like, they're not dipping just because they lost this game. Those 3 games that they won that last week are so important because then you face an LAFC hard side, and if you lose, it doesn't sting as much. Now you're gonna have that same exact stretch where you have to do the exact same thing.
Mhm.
So when you face LA Galaxy, it doesn't feel as bad if you do end up losing that one.
Right. All right. We'll dig into a little stuff here. Dig in deeper to some game grades and some performances and some more storylines from the actual play on the field here in just a second. But first, let's do a little housekeeping here and talk about our friends at Lucy Nicotine. Oh no, I left my can in the other room. That's okay. I'm sitting on the 4 milli wintergreen right now. Lucy, man, they rock. They're great on a day with a bunch of footy. I was doing some yard work. Just pop a Lucy in and just get what you need to get done, right? 100% nicotine, always tobacco free, available in pouches, gum, and breakers. Breakers basically have a little liquid flavor inside that just blasts you with flavor from that pouch. Those come in 4 and 8 milligrams. They got all sorts of flavors: mint, berry citrus, apple ice, espresso, mango. I'm sure I'm at wintergreen, mint. There's a ton. Lucy has them all. If you're not in pouches, they have gum in 2 milligram, 4 milligram, 6 milligram. Set yourself up with a subscription and have Lucy delivered straight to your door. No more weekly or daily gas station shops if you're anything like us. D-Gen's over here. Is Yaya back? I'm off of this. No, he's not. But Yaya, also a Lucy guy. He rocks those 8s. Those are crazy for me, but I'm cool with the 4s. Love the mango. Love the wintergreen. If you want to level up your nicotine routine with Lucy, go to lucy.co/rapids and use promo code RAPIDS to get 20% off your first order. Free shipping and a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. That's Lucy, LUCY.co, and use code RAPIDS to get 20% off. Always free shipping. We also got to really quickly talk about our friends at Levello Construction. Levello. Thank you, Yaya.
Levello. Sorry, my whole setup just fell on me, so I'm trying to get it.
Oh no. Oh no. That's okay. I'll carry us, baby. Levello Construction specializes in all things roofs, gutters, siding, and paint for your home here in the Front Range. They're women-owned and operated with over 17 years of experience. When storms strike and your home faces the aftermath, call or text Levello to schedule an appointment. Just like the Rapids on the pitch, they bring experience, precision, and a winning spirit to restoring your home's exterior to better than it was before. They understand the complexities of navigating insurance claims after storm damage and are there to make the process as smooth as a well-executed play. From assessing the damage to working with your insurance provider, they are there to help. They also have experience working as insurance adjusters, so who better to understand the process and know what to look for? With Levello Construction by your side, you can rest easy knowing that seasoned professionals are championing your cause. Let them help you rebuild and restore your home with confidence. Call them at 303-578-8551. That's 303-578-8551 to get your quote in under a minute and tackle those claims together. Go Rapids from your friends at Levello Construction.
Levello.
Shout out.
They rock. I got you.
And shout out to you. All right, we're back. DNVR Rapids. Let's mention Yaya holding it down late night.
Shout out Duane. He couldn't be on tonight because he's celebrating his anniversary.
Congrats on the girlfriend, I guess.
Somebody's in love.
Good for Duane. I'm glad he doesn't have to talk about this stinky game, but
it's fine. It wasn't as bad. Again, I wasn't expecting much.
I was thinking about how, like, what a bad loss would have done to me at this time last year. Well, I know what it did to me. It made me horribly sad and just the most repetitive losers lounges week after week after week.
We literally just didn't have anything else to say after a while. We're like, it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. It was like, all right, let's just copy in last week's. Okay, let's check some game grades. Let's look. Should have done this while I was doing ad reads. Okay, let's see here. Rapids, LAFC. Who was your highest rated Rapid? Oh God,
I'm gonna say it was Ronan. He just seemed the most mistake free tonight.
Interesting. It is Rafa Navarro, even with a yellow
Oh,
card,
okay.
which
That's
means
why I was trying to avoid all yellow cards. So I was thinking, I'm like, who got a yellow? And I'm like, those guys probably didn't rate very high.
I mean, his passing wasn't great, 16 of 22, 43 touches, 6 in the box.
What was Ronan's?
Ronan, I don't think had nearly enough touches. He was 6'5", 63 touches. Okay, so that's pretty good. 6 passes in the final third, but overall it was just 50 of 53 passing. Pretty good night for Ronan. That's a good shout.
But yeah, I don't think he was, again, he wasn't a world beater tonight, and that's fine. And you can clearly tell when you can tell a difference of a player when you have a Ila Sanchez on the other side, and he was completely just like dominating without even like exasperating. He's not thinking it twice. And then you see Ronan, who has to like work a little bit harder and is running back and forth. But I don't think he was horrible tonight. I just don't think that it was the right game for him.
Djorjde with a 6'7", so close to the top for the night, according to FOTMob. 53 touches in 76 minutes. So I mean, on the lower end of like the acceptable range, right? Like you can't be mad about it, but you probably wanted to see a 63 or like it was just tough with the counter press. Like how fast LAFC was going the other way. You're out of position. You're not, it was really tough to build any flow there. And it's not surprising to see the whole midfield like that, really.
You know who I really hate?
Who?
Timothy Tillman.
Yeah, dude.
He's for real. You know who he reminds me of a lot? Lance Stevenson.
Oh, I love a cross-sport reference. That's perfect.
That's the guy where you see the flashes. You know what I mean? That you're like, oh, he did something cool, but at the end of the day, he's still a clown. Like that's what it reminds me of so much. Every time I see him play, I'm like, you got these little things, and then you immediately fuck it up like in the worst way because you try to do something really cool, and I'm like, that's not how you play football. Like he is not technically sound.
Man, how about Kai Kamara tonight, man?
Kai was good.
Played 79 minutes, 0.5 XG, had an assist, big chance created, just 24 touches, but defensively, 2 headed clearances, 3 total clearances, 2 blocks. He was mixing it up, man. Ageless wonder, 39 years old. He was all over this game.
Dude, Kai, I think tonight was a better center back than he was a striker, honestly.
That's a great call, actually. Let's send some notes over to LAFC. Yeah.
Honestly, dude, I think if it wasn't for Kai, this game would have been tight going into halftime.
Yeah.
Some of those shots were going in. Some of those shots were going top right corner, and Kai was just a wall tonight. He did his best Lawless impersonation. He did a great job.
He was great. Yeah, I mean, honestly, he was a better Lawless tonight than Lawless was. Honestly. Man. That's tough. Harris, obviously Cabral with the red card, not much to say there. Harris played 68 minutes, 8 for 11 passing, 21 touches, only 1 touch in the box. That's not good enough. That's just not getting yourself involved enough.
The wingers are bad tonight. They were really bad.
Yeah. Cole, same thing. He played all 90. 56 of 65 passing, 82 touches. That's really the numbers you want to see from Cole. Solid Cole game.
Yeah,
he was doing everything he could to keep possession and keep plays alive, and he was everywhere. It just wasn't enough, man. No one was matching him.
Well, the biggest issue that happened with the Rapids tonight was that LAFC press was so much in the Rapids' heads that when the Rapids are trying to play out of the back, they were trying to get the ball to Cole and Ronan so they can get the ball forward. But that press would just isolate the defender so much, which would then move Cole and Ronan out of position. And once they did get the ball, they weren't in the right spot to make the next play that they could go forward. And then when they were finally all the way forward, the wingers would lose the ball, and then they were just sprinting all the way back again. And you're like, yeah, like you're just wasting energy right now because all you're doing is running back constantly so you can try to get there.
Yeah, just the positioning was just tough everywhere, right? And man, I mean, look, it's just their second shutout of the season, the Rapids, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other was that loss to Houston at home, the 0-1 Maxu bloody nose game.
Yeah.
Which should have been 0-0, but just like you said, you can't get too down. You just can't get too down. I feel like we're talking about negative stuff.
I mean, but we kind of have to. It was a bad
No,
game
I know.
tonight. Like
I know,
it sucks, but like, and
yeah.
we'll get back into the positives, I think. But we do have to like, hey, this team still has problems, and this is a legit concern because you are facing LAFC, a contender. And if you do think that you have a shot at a title this year, you have to measure yourself against them and see where your problems are, and that's where your problems are.
Yeah.
Not having Bombi tonight as a guy that can play out of the back and can really help you in those situations with recovery, I think he would have been a great help. I think he would have done so much for this team, and I think this game would have ended up 2-2 or a 3 or even a Rapids win. Just like when Bombi played last time, he was a key factor to the Rapids win.
He scored a goal on his birthday.
Exactly.
Yeah. I also think tonight, maybe it's, hindsight's always 20/20, but this could have been a time where you start all of those four midfielders together, right? And I know you're not crazy about having Cole up top, but really what it is just a 4-4-2, right?
Exactly.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Cole can even come back and make it a 4-3-3 at times, right? And
you can make it into a diamond, how I said, like
totally.
A 2 diamond midfield, like a 2 up top, diamond midfield, and then 4 in the back. That's how you do that 4-4-4.
Yeah.
4-4-2.
Yeah. 4-4-4, we probably would have won.
Yeah, you're playing with 2 extra players. I hope so.
Try that one, Armas. Try. Yeah, let's go. 4-4-4, baby. Oh man, we went to Taco Bell today. The big Cheez-It thing. Not that great. It's not that great. I wanted it to be great. I wanted it to be great, and it wasn't.
I know. I love Cheez-Its. It's like I heard it was not that great, and it's mostly because we've been spoiled by the Dorito taco. Like, I know. That Dorito taco is so good. Who would have thought it?
Perfect. Yeah. It's really a bummer. Man. What storylines are we missing from this game?
Do you think Zach was bad tonight?
No, I thought Zach was pretty good tonight, honestly.
I thought he was just left to dry a lot. And honestly, again, a lot of these goals that I'm seeing them again was a lot of them being out of position. That line played really high. They weren't running with these guys, and they just got lost. Like,
I do think you need to abandon I think you need to drop that line a little bit without Bombi. Bombi is the highline cheat code. Bombi is why it works, because if it gets broken, he'll catch whoever it is, barring like 2 or 3 attackers you're gonna face, right? Like,
I don't think there's a guy in the MLS that Bombi can't catch.
I mean, sure, there's gonna be plays where it's just impossible, right?
When you're in the other side of the field.
But for the most part, he's your highline cheat code. That's why he's getting attention from scouts in France and Brazil and wherever else, because you can play that line as high as you want with him. Not so with Lawless, right? And not with how forward Keegan and Sammy like to get.
You know what?
And then all of a sudden you have like Ronan playing emergency center back, and it's not what anyone wants.
And especially Ronan.
Yeah, especially Ronan.
That's exactly, I'm telling you, I know Ronan's an honest man. I know he knows he's a workhorse, but he also knows his limitations, baby. You know what I just thought about? I wonder if Bombi might be going to León because Rafa played for Botafogo, and Botafogo is part of the same ownership group as León. And I wonder if they were just looking at Rafa and seeing how he's doing for maybe like trying to buy him back and move him to León, of course. And they discovered Bombi on the way there.
Maybe.
I feel like that's the way it could have happened because it feels very connected.
Sure. I mean,
I know they have scouts everywhere. Don't get me wrong.
He's French speaking, right? I think there's something to that, right? To bring a guy into
language barrier is not a problem.
And I think that matters. At least a little bit, but also I think it's just like all of a sudden there was a 24-year-old speedster center back available on the market that no one I think had on a list. I don't think he was even on lists. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we should probably look at this guy, right? Like, and then you start making the connections like that. I think there's going to be some offers coming in for sure, right?
Yeah.
Like, barring like if he has some horrible red card or like something like that.
It also sounds like Bombi already agreed with Leon on personal terms. Now it's just down to the Rapids. That's what Fabrizio made it sound like.
4 mil's just not enough. Sorry, you're worth more than that to us.
Yeah,
sorry.
I mean, dude. I just think you need to go look for another center back, even if it's an older one. If you splash a little bit more money, like you have to now, because if Bombi is on the way out, like you just saw what happens when you don't have him going up against a team that can really pick you apart when they want to.
The theoretical, like the idea of Chacon is interesting, right? As like at least ball control wise, a replacement for Bombi, right? A guy that can play with the ball at his feet and not get panicky. But we haven't seen it, right? Like he got to R2, got loaned back down to Costa Rica and tore his ACL. So he hasn't, it's a theory, but he's huge, he's athletic, he's good with the ball. The idea of it is intriguing.
Chacon actually was dominating that league before. Mm-hmm. So the reason that Chacon, what we've heard, is that he went back to Costa Rica because he was too good for R2.
Right, way too good for R2.
And he needed a higher level. So they sent him to Costa Rica to get the higher level, dominated Costa Rica, and he was going to come back and be a key piece this year. But because of the injury that he suffered, things got delayed. And there's hope that he could still come back and be that guy. I still think he can come in and be that guy. He's very Bombi-esque in the way that he controls the ball and passes the ball. His recovery speed is not Bombi. That's the biggest issue with that. And you don't have another guy that's as fast as Liam back there. Maybe Nate Jones is. We don't know. But you need somebody that can run all the way back and help out. Maybe Chacon is your six, that midfielder that you need. I think that role would be way more interesting for him than a center back, in my opinion. But I know they see him in the organization. They see him as a center back.
He could play both. Why not? Why not both?
¿Por qué no los dos?
Speaking of R2, tonight they lost. I think LAFC 2 got a penalty in stoppage time to win 3-2, but Marlon Vargas scored another goal. He's dope. He might be a fun little, get him a couple minutes in this 3-game homestand kind of midfielder, just to kind of see what you got, maybe. He's tiny is the problem, but he's skilled as hell. And then
sorry, who was it?
Marlon Vargas. And then Facundo Nunez scored a goal. He's exciting. I don't think he's ready. He's young. He's a kid. He's not ready for.
Is he the Garnacho lookalike?
Yes, he is.
Okay, guys, if you guys haven't seen him, he is the Garnacho lookalike. Mitch brought this up to me, and we're like, "That's cool as hell." He looks like Garnacho. Hopefully, he plays like Garnacho too.
He got to play tonight because they had already won the group, so I thought that was kind of cool. Mexico play tomorrow. Who do they got?
Venezuela. Who is it? Or is it Venezuela?
No, it's whoever. It's whoever Argentina played in the opener.
Ecuador.
It's a big one. It's a big one.
Yeah, they gotta win if they want to keep going. Man, I hope they lose.
Yeah.
I hope.
Wait, you hope they lose?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't want to suffer anymore, man. This team needs a wake-up call. This team really does need a wake-up call. The talent pool, the federation, the corruption in that organization, they need something that just shakes the people awake and be like, yeah, we're not going if you guys don't want to commit to this.
I'm hoping Berhalter can pull something crazy on Monday.
Well, yeah, but that's because like the reason that the U.S. is where they are is because they didn't qualify for the 2018 World Cup.
Yeah.
So it lit a fire in their ass, and that's what, like, we got to be better. Mexico doesn't have that fire in their ass, and that's the issue.
This game is what everyone asked for, right? Is a go beat a really good team, right? This is a must-win game against a big team. This is what you wanted to see from Greg. This is the situation you wanted from Greg. So go win it, right?
I hope the U.S. wins, man. I really, really do. But
I do too, because we're doing a watch-along, so I really hope so.
I do. I really do. I wish if there was a way that they could win and Berhalter could still be fired, that'd be dope.
Yeah. Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, like if there was a way
comes over, you have to wait till next summer.
Well, you got to do it now because you got to get them ready for the World Cup. The U.S. is the only hope.
You need Pep. That's the move. I'm telling you.
The U.S. is the only CONCACAF hope for for us as a country, as a people in all of North America, not to look like total fools in the World Cup. The
Well,
U.S.
I
is our
have
only opportunity.
bad news for you, buddy. All right, let's get into some flowers on the other side of this quick break. But we have some friends to talk about, and damn, are they some good friends of ours? It is Toyota. We love Toyota here at DNVR. That's why they are now the official vehicle of DNVR. It's pretty cool that we got an official vehicle, gotta say. Yeah, what's your favorite Toyota right now?
It's the Supra, man. All the Toyota cars are great, but I'm more of like an old school car guy. So
Sure.
I like the 1996 twin turbo Supra that Paul Walker drives.
That was what I was gonna say,
the
right?
first one.
That orange one?
Dude. My favorite part about the car is not how fast it goes or how cool it looks, but that you can take just the roof off and you still have the back window and the front window.
Mm-hmm.
It looks so cool. And you just take that little sliver of roof off and it looks dope as hell.
I love me an old school Land Cruiser, like the old school ones.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
those are badass.
Kind of look like the old Jeeps from the 60s and 70s, but way better. And I don't know. They're big old dominating mountain machines. That's what we need. They kind of remind me of Bombi in that mode, actually, now that I think about it.
And just as quick, too. I think they can reach 27 miles an hour.
Well, Land Cruiser's coming back. There's a 2024 Land Cruiser, new trucks like the 2024 Tacoma or the Tundra iForce Max Hybrid, over 17 models with all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, and 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. That's AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of the Colorado Rapids and the official vehicle of DNVR. Shout out to the homies there. Then we got to talk about us. We like talking about us. We're really good at talking about us because we got events coming up. And a big event coincides with a big event for Denver sports coincides with a big event in life, which is Yaya's birthday.
It's kind of the same thing. Sports and me are synonymous at this point.
In the DNVR road trip to Tampa for the Broncos, that is, we're hitting Tampa, hitting Clearwater Beach. There's a boat party in there. And if you saw any of the content from London when they went out with the Broncos, that boat party looked fun as hell on the Thames in London. This one should be great as well. Todd Davis will be there. Some other Broncos vets will be there. You can meet them, hang out, party. We handle all of the things. The packages are at truefantravel.com. There's another one on there. It's Buffs, Nebraska, in Nebraska. That's going to be lit. I'm going on that one. It's going to be a blast. Can't wait.
At the only Nebraska hotel.
There's only one.
Probably it's Nebraska.
It's going to be a blast. It's going to be great. I'm so excited to go. I've been to a lot of away pro games. I haven't been to a lot of away college games. So I'm excited to add some college venues into my scrapbook there. So that should be pretty fun. Also, you can get tailgate tickets now if you're planning out a Broncos trip to Denver. So that's coming up. And then let's see. Oh, most important one. Rapids takeover on the 7th. We're selling a bunch of tickets for those. They're actually close to sold out. So if you want to come hang out with us on Sunday the 7th against St. Louis, should be, fingers crossed here, knocking on wood here, a dub. You get to hang out at C38, go to the game, come back to the bar, and we'll do post game there. Should be a fun time. So I'd go ahead and do that. And check out everything else, thednvr.com/events. And we got you.
Get that event, man. It's on Sunday. Take over tickets, come hang out with them. We'll have a good time. We'll talk soccer. It's always a good time when those things.
Yep. All right. We are back. DNVR Rapids. Losers Lounge. Tough one. Losers. This is the hardest segment in the Losers Lounge is flowers. It's the most difficult one. You know, it's hard. It's hard to give flowers from the fellas in a Losers Lounge.
I have one.
Go ahead.
I'm giving mine to Jamal Terry for doing the Jose Alvaro, and hiding behind the goalie.
Oh, dog.
Dude,
That was so
I know it's not a rapid
sick.
play, but he deserves some. He deserves some flowers for that. That was like the Jose Alvarado, man. Like doing that shit on a soccer game, it's insane. The goalie not realizing it, like that is, dude. Alana deserves so much for that.
Man, that was the coolest play I've seen in a long time. Jose Alvarado special on a soccer field. Nothing like it. I don't know if I've seen that work outside of a FIFA game ever. It worked.
Dude. Only the MLS. Only the MLS.
The MLS rocks.
It's
MLS rules.
The best thing about the MLS is that everybody has a chance.
Yeah.
Your chance eventually comes. It comes every 2 to 3 years where you can get excited about a team and they're decent. You can't say that about almost any league around the world because they don't have the same cap rules. They don't have the same restrictions that the MLS do at such a high level. That's the best part about the MLS. It's high level football with restrictions so everybody can be even and it makes for entertaining games. That's why there's so many damn goals.
Can I give anti-flowers to start?
Yeah, go ahead. We already took it off the rail immediately. So
can I give anti-flowers to Kevin Cabral for getting a red card and ruining any chance of a draw or maybe win?
Probably, dude. What would anti-flowers be? Cole?
I don't know.
A bouquet of coal.
That's a really good question. We'll have to figure out a term for that, or some ideas in the chat if someone names it for us.
It's just a bouquet of rose stems, but with all
just the thorns. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. That's the That's the
thorny roses. And look, it was a weak card, but you were on a card, and you shouldn't have done it. It was not like, it's
just one of those things. Like, don't fuck up. Like, you're already in trouble. Also, I think Armas should have taken him out by then. Like, he was already playing really aggressive. He got away with a few.
Ollie was ready to go in. Like, he was already over from warming up, jersey ready, like ready to go. So that sucked. It sucked big time. Big time.
Flowers.
Maybe we should give some real flowers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
There's not. It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Djorjde, and just because he had that one shot, that was really close.
That was a good shot.
Yeah, I think those were the best ones. He was really off tonight, and I think he gets a flower because I don't think there was a lot of good players tonight, so he gets a flower.
Yeah, flower
for that one shot. I thought that was the best shot of the game.
I also kind of want to. This is never going to happen again. If I had to guess, this is the last time these flowers will ever be given. Ever. This season. I'm going to give flowers to the Apple broadcast for not just spending 90 minutes jerking off LAFC and actually talking about the Rapids and talking about when they're playing well and their run of form and actually sounding like they did their homework on this team for once. Right. And it's not just the same, relying on the Ollie Laraz storyline that they talked about for like 6 games in a row. Like, they really did it. Much respect there. I thought it was a fair and good broadcast. And I'm not used to that. And it was good. And I liked it. So there. Flowers to them.
Yeah. Can I give anti-flowers to the ref?
Sure.
For being a bitch?
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
Thorns for you, so much. Ref.
Dude, he was such a bad. He didn't decide the game at all. I know this. I get it. I understand it. But I hate a game that's bad officiated, and you can tell when it leans towards a team. Like, usually the big market teams, right? Mm-hmm. And it's in every sport. You see it in the Premier League when you have a Manchester City going up against Leeds United or going up against Burnley or whoever's up there, like the lower class team at that time. And you see them play, and it's, Man City just got a bunch of really soft calls, and now they're up 3-0, and it was never going to be close, but it still sucks.
It does suck.
I also hated at the end where Yappy hits the guy gets up, pushes Yappy to the ground, no card,
not even a yellow. Are you kidding me?
It's a non-football play, an aggressive non-football play and no card. Yappy messed up. Yeah, Yappy wasn't trying to actually hit him. Like he wasn't trying to be a dick about it. And then the guy just gets up and throws him. And then he's like, yeah, no card. What the hell's going on with the ref? Like, I just don't get it. Like that type of refereeing just makes for like annoying watching. It doesn't affect the game as much, but it makes for annoying watching.
Did you look at the scoreboard at all? The MLS scores.
I did a minute ago and I already forgot them.
Well, that's a bummer. I just think that like obviously they're still in fourth, so it's not like a huge deal. But like Vancouver wins a crazy 1-4-3. Seattle came from behind a half to win, which sucks, right? Like LA shuts out San Jose. Portland beating Mini is a big help, right? SKC beating Austin is a big help. Dallas losing to Cincy is a big help.
Mm-hmm.
So flowers to, oh God, I already forgot who won those games. Cincy, SKC, no, never mind. No flowers for them. And actually no flowers for Portland, just to Cincy for beating Dallas.
Honestly, man, all the way from 4th to 10th, it's a dogfight.
I know.
It's literally 25, 31 points. Rapids are in 4th right now with 31 points. And Seattle's in 10th with 25. It's a two-game swing. You can't fail. Like you have to win these games. You can't drop any.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's a chance we're looking up at 6 in a row this week, right? Like 6 points right there, right? Like it's one game at a time, obviously. SKC, that game is never easy, regardless of which team is up the standings, right? Like this is going to be another dogfight, right? And it sucks to not have Moise in this one. Not that SKC is the fastest team in the world, but he's just a dog, You gotta bring the dogs in this one. I hope Ollie starts, actually.
I honestly, I see the SKC going a lot like the St. Louis game.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like the most likely outcome to me.
Where it's just like, if the Rapids get the 1, they're going to get the 3 or 4.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I saw that game today versus Austin, and Austin is like, it's not a bad team. We're a pretty decent team.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City did a great job against them, but it felt a lot like Austin kind of gave them that game.
Mm-hmm.
Austin felt like it felt like the Rapids today, where they just didn't have it. And honestly, SKC did their hardest, and they barely got that first goal. Like, it really felt like they had most of the possession.
It was Johnny Russell, right? He made the play.
Yeah, I think so. But, like, they're good. Don't get me wrong. There's good players on that side. But, like, even Eric Tommy was not, like, the dude that people expect. I don't know if he scored today or not, because I didn't finish the whole game because I didn't know how to do some other stuff. But he just didn't have it. And Eric Tommy is known as one of those guys that can come in and change the game. And he hasn't scored since April 14th. If he didn't score today, like, that's a long time.
It was Liebel and Afrifa.
So that's what I mean. I'm like, it feels like such a long, like, there just needs to be something else with that team, and it doesn't feel like it's going to be a hard matchup.
No, I mean, it shouldn't be, right? Like, shouldn't be. Why can't I just go to SKC's team page? I just want to know. Whatever. We'll talk about them on Wednesday. Maybe we should just do our housekeeping now, right? Watch along on Monday night. We'll start about 6:45-ish, give or take.
10-15 minutes before.
Yeah, we'll talk about the game going in. Watch through the U.S. game. Come down to the bar. It's going to be fun. We fill out those big U.S. games. We really do. So come hang out with us. It's going to be a packed house. It's going to be fun. And we'll be upstairs talking through it. We'll come down, say what's up beforehand, say what's up at halftime, say what's up after. Just come hang out. It's fun. It's a fun environment. It's a must-win game. So we'll be doing that. Wednesday, we'll be doing our regular show. There will be no lounge on 4th of July. Just as a heads up. Right?
We'll do it on a Friday.
We'll just do it on Friday. So we're all going to go hang on 4th of July. We're going to do our thing. There'll still be some social stuff. We'll still put up our graphics and highlights and whatever.
Just don't expect a super interactive night.
No.
That's what it is more than anything.
Yeah. So we'll do that. And then Sunday is going to be a blast. So 2-game week. Love a 2-game week. Let's go. Wipe this loss away. Just get rid of it.
It's such a weird week. You get an extra day for your midweek game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you play on a Sunday. And it feels like such a weird, yeah.
Yeah. But just get through it. Just get through it. Beat these two teams. These two teams this is teams you need to beat, right? It's time to beat the teams you need to beat because you're not beating the teams, right? I mean,
that you can beat,
right? Like the 3 straight wins are great. I'm not going to take that away. Austin was in a playoff position, right? Like can't be mad at that. St. Louis were good last year. Can't be mad at that. Montreal stinks. Should have won. Right?
It also feels a little bit like RSL and LAFC had a little chip on their shoulders going up against Colorado the second go around. They kind of got duped the first time.
Mm-hmm.
The second time they met them again, they're like, "Okay, we're not gonna take you guys as jokes anymore. Like,
no,
you guys are here. Like, we're
working,
going."
Man.
Exactly. It feels a little bit like they earned that. They earned it, right?
And that might be, one of the bigger vouches for where this team is at. It's right how hard LAFC had to work in this game. I think that it was a closer 3-0 than the scoreline says, and that's dumb because no, it wasn't. But for about 65, 68 minutes, it was a good game. So
yeah, and I'm really sad that this is the last LAFC game we see all year.
I'm happy.
Well, I would be very curious. I just would want to see how the Rapids bounce back after this kind of game again. That's why I'm really excited for the Rocky Mountain Cup because they faced each other twice. The Rapids beat them the first time. We're right in it that second time. It was a 10-minute difference, literally a 10-minute difference that changed that game. And going into this next one at home, I want to see what the kind of reaction it is. I'm just very curious how they're gonna handle that. Both sides. Is Braille like gonna push harder? Are they gonna drop back a little bit more? Is Colorado more comfortable? It's kind of like a playoff series. Who makes the last adjustment? Who's gonna make the right adjustment? And I'm just very curious how they do that within the season against each other.
It's a couple ducks, right? You get SKC and St. Louis. Take care of business there. Boom, boom. Take care of business. Take care of business. Take care of business. And then Red Bull's home. Big game. Fun game. Should be a ton of goals scored in that game. Away to Galaxy. Again, should be a goal fest. And then time to win that cup, baby. So let's see what's happening. Plug us out of here, my guy.
DNVR Rapids on Twitter. Please follow us there. A lot of you guys are watching on Twitter. Jump into the YouTube channel and watch it for 10 seconds. It really helps us out. It keeps the show going. Also, give us a thumbs up and a 5-star review wherever you hear this podcast. We subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps out a lot. We're so close to 100K. We just want that button. Even if we don't get it anymore, we're going to get it custom made just for us. We need that 100 button plaque. It's going to be so much fun. Besides that, I'll pass it on to Mitch.
Become a diehard at the DNVR.com. Goes a long way to help shows like this one where you get discounts on a bunch of stuff, you get a bunch of content, you get merch, you get all sorts of stuff, right? Like that's it's worth it, So hit the like, hit the subscribe, all that stuff helps us out a ton. But support it. Come down to the bar, hang out with us, watch some footy. Just any way you're willing to support us goes a long way, and it's not unappreciated at all. So we really appreciate that. So come check us out. Even in a loss, we're still going to say it, just like we always do. Up the pits.
We all silly like the mayor.